Welcome back to Talking Wanderers. I'm Gordon Sharrock and with me is Mark Isles to reflect on an interesting, if not nervous, FA Cup tie at Macclesfield on Saturday, to cast an eye over the transfer situation and to look ahead to Saturday's game at Manchester United. Well, plenty going on in the last few days, Mark, and plenty to look forward to. Shall we start at Moss Rose?
Yeah. It was a difficult afternoon. I think that I heard a few of the fans on the way in, and they were saying, "No, this Premier League football's not what it's cracked up to be." It was great coming to places like this. I wonder whether a few of the opinions might have changed. Actually, it certainly did mine in the press box. It was rough. It was ready, and in fairness, I think Bolton will have been quite happy to come out of there just still in the hat. A very average performance, considering they got the goal up, which I'm sure is what Owen would have wanted. Just get that goal straight away, set yourself up. But it was the same old story, really. I just, a few performers didn't show up, and it was very flat from there. And Mac were very, very close to causing a shock.
Well, I mean, when Arnaud Mendy whacked that one in to put him in front, I mean, you did fear the worst, didn't you?
Absolutely. I mean, the timing of it all. I mean, Bolton had clearly had chances and it just wasn't going in, and when he turned and hit that one, you just thought, but especially given the week that Adam Bogdan had at the time, and you think, well, there we go then, it looks like we're on first on match of the day type of thing. But I mean, a little bit of spirit shown then to chisel one out. Probably should have won the game in the end, with Klasnic having a couple of chances late on, but it seems to be the way things are going. It just, that sort of slight measure of inconsistency. Nobody really wanted a replay, but they've got Swansea at home now, and if they can get past Macclesfield at the Reebok, which I expect them to do.
Yeah, I mean, you never say never, do you? But I mean, it's home advantage, better surroundings, better pitch, and they've had the scare, and they should survive this. But before that, of course, plenty going on. Plenty going on the transfer front. Nothing definite, but a lot of things that seem to be coming to the boil, and of course the little matter of a trip to Old Trafford on Saturday.
Yeah, there's loads going on, to be honest. It's an interesting time, because obviously we have this whole Gary Cahill situation, which has rumbled on and on and on. Everybody, is willing it to get finished as soon as possible. There's lots of things being written elsewhere that look to be destabilising it, but as far as we're concerned, and we understand the deal's on course. There's been a lot of negotiating behind the scenes in terms of personal terms, and I think they're steadily getting there. There seems to have been a breakthrough over the last couple of days. They're getting much closer, so we hope that gets.
Think it'll be done by weekend?
I think it might be. I think it might be. Just by the sounds of things, the two parties might have been quite a way apart at one point, but I think they've got steadily closer and closer as negotiations do, and I think it'll get sorted.
Which is really what everybody wants.
Absolutely.
And of course, while that's going on, probably in parallel with that are the Tim Ream negotiations, which again seem to be coming nearer to fruition.
I think from a personal point of view, and from the two clubs, I think they're nearly there, if not there. The only thing is with Tim Ream is that he's a US international, so it'll be a work permit issue. Quite a lot of red tape to wade through on that point. So I'll be doing a bit of digging around now, find out how close and how likely that's going to be to cause. He's got 7 international caps. The issue is how many of them are in competitive games and things like that. So there's a bit of digging around to do, and I'm sure a lot of paperwork for Sam and Marlon to fill in. But I think that one's on the board.
Again, we've had some speculation on Junior Hoilett. That isn't anywhere near the stage that Ream is at, or the transfer out of Cahill, is it not?
No, I mean, as far as I'm led to believe, it was a question that's being asked. I mean, Owen Coyle's a big fan of Junior Hoilett, and you can see how he would fit into the whole scheme of things in terms of what Owen's trying to do and the football he's trying to play. I don't think there's any doubt that Bolton need 2 attacking players as well as a cover for Cahill, and that right side has been a bit of a problem area, I think, for Bolton. So Junior Hoilett would be the perfect player to put in there. He can also play up the middle. Owen's asked the question. Blackburn, have all but resigned themselves to losing him, but I think that Blackburn, unlike us with Gary Cahill, maybe were quite willing to let him go in the summer because they know they'll have a tribunal. And you know, so that's a gamble they're willing to take. Junior Hoyle, it now remains to be seen what his plans are. Does he fancy jumping ship and having a challenge, or does he want to sit tight and see what happens in the summer?
And to matters, Old Trafford, never an easy place to go. But when you're fighting a survival battle like Bolton are, it's a pretty daunting prospect. And in fact, the next handful of fixtures, leaving aside the cup ties, are pretty daunting, aren't they?
Yeah, I think when you look ahead, January, February doesn't throw many bones our way, as it were. I think there's Norwich and Wigan sandwiched in between Arsenal, City, Liverpool and Manchester United. Chelsea, I think.
Chelsea as well,
yeah. So, you know, it's what we saw at the beginning of the season, really, and I think if they can't learn lessons from that spell that they had, I think that games were too quickly written off. I think aside from the Manchester City performance, where they really did give as good as they got, the Reebok, it was poor, and I think that the mindset was poor. You know, fans want to see players care about the team as much as they do, and I thought just in times they surrendered a bit too quickly in some of those games. I think they've got to try their level best to try and keep in touch with those teams ahead of them, because you know the QPRs and the Sunderland's now have made managerial changes. They're going to be looking onwards and upwards, making signings. So it's absolutely vital.
QPR as well.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, they've made the change now. Mark Hughes looks like he's pretty much nailed on now. He looks like he wants to spend money. So there's going to be that pull from up there. So it's absolutely vital now they try and get anything they can from this run, and then from February on, it's the great escape, isn't it?
And finally, Manchester United have brought Paul Scholes back at 37. What chance is John McGinley coming back with Owen Coyle?
That's it. Yeah, you start digging about, do you? See if Alan Thompson fancies another game, or you know, God, it's an amazing thing, isn't it, to bring Scholes out of retirement? I mean, you know, you can argue that he hung his boots up a bit too early anyway, because he was still a class act, but it would have to be Bolton. It always seems that there's something whenever the Bolton go to United, something is happening in the headlines, and it would seem to be this one this time, but it'll be an interesting occasion.
Well, thanks, Mark. That's all from Talking Wanderers this week. Join us next week when hopefully we'll be reflecting on a win at Old Trafford and 3 more points into the survival bag.